But here's the thing with the British political system, is that legally Parliament is sovereign. Obviously the people are democratically sovereign when we vote, but we elect a legally sovereign Parliament which during the period of its power has the right to do whatever it wants. And some people think that's a bad thing, and certainly if you have a bad government and it just does what it wants, that it does appear to be a bad thing. But you can always hold out hope that there's going to be a good government will come in 4 or 5 years' time or sooner and overturn all of that through the power of what's called parliamentary sovereignty. And so parliamentary sovereignty and our common law is actually quite a good thing, because it means that a good government can immediately overturn all the bad works of a bad government. Now, the Labour Party are under Gordon Brown's ideological thinking, wants to overturn that concept of parliamentary sovereignty and wants to basically create a form of, if not a written constitution, it wants to bind Parliament in such a way that it's almost impossible to undo certain key matters that need to be undone. For example, he wants to bind devolution into the British Constitution in such a way that it will make it very, very difficult to even approach the question of devolution, let alone overturning elements of it. And I've become clearer on this in the past month or so, because when I was reading Gordon Brown's 155-page document called Messing Up the United Kingdom, it's not actually called that, it's called A New Britain, I couldn't understand why he kept saying that Britain was highly centralised. I'm like, you know better than me, Gordon. As a result of your devolution throughout the kingdom, it's very decentralised now, so why do you keep calling it centralised? And then I read an article that, while it didn't spell it out itself, helped me to clarify that what he's actually talking about when he talks about centralisation is parliamentary sovereignty. That's what he doesn't like. He doesn't like the fact that one parliament can come in and undo everything that the previous government did. And so he wants basically to have a Labour, if Labour get elected, he wants to change the British Constitution in such a way that it will be almost impossible to undo anything that Labour does during its period of power. And this is what written constitutions do. And this is what happens when you set up a new chamber, which is what he wants to do, which is going to be elected, which is going to be challenging the main House of Commons. He's calling it his Assembly of Regions and Nations. So essentially what the Gordon Brown and the Labour Party are against at the moment, whether they go into the 2024 general election with this on the plate or not, I don't know. But what they're against at the moment is the concept of unlimited parliamentary sovereignty. The ability of any government to come in and overturn the works of the previous government. And so that's what they're trying to stop and trying to change and trying to ensure cannot happen again. And that's what they mean when they say Britain is centralised. They're talking about Britain has got this unique concept that the Parliament can do, that the Parliament is legally sovereign during its period of existence, and that it cannot bind another Parliament. That's what they mean when they talk about the centralisation of the United Kingdom. They're just really talking about the power of the British Parliament as presently constituted.